All right. Hey, everybody. Thanks so much for tuning in to the WTCF podcast. It's Charlie here and want to cover this week's intention, where I'm at and some of my goals, and then start to share the new website for We the Collective Fitness. So, a whole bunch of new stuff to go ahead and just give. So, the first thing that we should go ahead and cover is the intention for the week. So, this week, it's do everything with a good heart and expect nothing in return. And I think that's something really important for us as Americans to start to recognize that we are not performing those things. Everything seems to be incredibly transactional, that there's not really this desire to give unconditionally to help other people out. It's more like, what have you done for me lately? And if you're not only in it for me, I'm not in it for you at all. So I think that there's a lot of opportunities for us to learn and grow through that one. So one of the things that I initially started thinking about was we need to be able to learn how to give unconditionally. There's plenty of people who will go out there and say, "I'll give anything," it's like I'd even die for somebody else. But would they actually go and try to live? I think that's a statement that I've made towards my father several times about his drinking and his smoking. I don't think it's adding years to his life. So I kind of think like, oh, it's like I'll do anything for my family. It's like, would you do that stuff? And that's not going to be the case. So I think that's a hard fought lesson to learn of self, that like what would you be willing to do even if you didn't get anything back, even if you knew for a fact that no good would come back from it, do you still go ahead and do good? And I would like to think that I would try. I definitely recognize that I've made that mistake in my own life several times over, and I think it's still just lessons to be learned. The second point with that one is it helps kind of build community. So if you end up being that stand-up individual, other people start to pick up on those things and start to do it for others. So again, you might not get anything back, but your actions might help somebody forward and helping somebody else out with their endeavors, their goals, their something, right? So it's not so much of, me telling my dad that he needs to go ahead and quit smoking so we can go ahead and live, but hearing something like this, you might tell somebody, and this might actually be the turning point for them to make some good quality change for themselves. So I just wanted to cover those things pretty quickly. Um, I think it's just helpful to speak about these things to make sure that I'm constantly in thought of these things. So as I make my decisions, so I guess decisions that have been impacted by that this week, as I decided just to do some of the really hard stuff that I was kind of scared to do. I think that's really important to go ahead and address. So we started a new class. I needed to make some phone calls about switching some classes around. So there's a fair amount of like hard work that needs to get done with all of that. There's phone calls I need to make to go build new business relationships with. And by doing those things, I've now opened up for so much more. I wasn't really expecting good news to come out of those things at all. Hence, one of the reasons I was just avoiding them, because I didn't want the bad news that could have came out of it. But then I eventually looked at it as like, well, if you go into it with a good heart, and even if you don't expect anything back, like, should you change any of your decision making? And for this week, it was no, I'm just going to go ahead and do it. I don't care if it's good. I don't care if it's bad. I'm just going to go ahead and do it to get it done. I'll do it to the best of my ability with hopefully good intentions, right? So that actually has all panned out incredibly well in all of that for this week. So it's just a nice reminder to self that I should do that more. When it comes to things like goals, for the last week, I've been stuck at my 203. I have not moved down any further. I was expecting maybe a little bit less, but I recognize that I should be normalizing a little bit. Dropping 10 pounds and then going further is a lot on the body to go ahead and endure. So I've recognized that my hunger has skyrocketed in the last like 3 or 4 days. I can just eat nonstop. That's not what I should be doing. So it's not to go ahead and restrict, but to go ahead and do things like drink more water. I have some coffee here on the side that I just cold brew, and make sure that I stick to my meal plan, right? I have meals that I make every single week now. So I've been doing that for about a month of just having stuff ready. I don't have to think about it. I really get, 2, 3 hours to just enjoy the hell out of cooking. I highly enjoy it. I like doing that weird stuff. And I guess it's not weird. Cooking is completely normal. But like just prepping all that stuff is very therapeutic for me. And I really tend to enjoy it. So I've been stagnant for a minute on my weight. When it comes to jumping, I have made some progress. So when I was originally jumping, I was able to get to this first knuckle. That's the best I've ever been able to do. Here's my starting point. I then was able to hit the next knuckle down. And then just this last weekend, I was able to actually get the following knuckle. So I just been practicing just jumping, working on that. I have a set plan that'll go ahead and get me through to the next step. And I work on the next thing and I work on the next thing. So it's been a lot of fun to go ahead and work and develop on those things. And I got called out just today. I tried to jump up and touch one of the lights, and I was a little bit shy, and somebody noted, it's like, wow, you really sink into your landing. I'm like, I'm 40 years old. I'm not going to land with straight legs. Like, I'm going to sink into the ground as much as I need to protect myself when I hit the ground. So I'm not going to be upright. I'm probably going to end up into a full squat if I need to land. So I'll give myself as much time as humanly possible to hit the ground before I have to do anything else. So that's actually been incredibly helpful. I guess the last thing that I wanted to go ahead and spend some time on is that I've been able to do some facelifts to the website, and hopefully that's something that can be, fun and enjoyable for other people. I want to make sure that I get the right one and not like the wrong thing. I'm gonna guess it's this one. I believe it's this. You're screen sharing. I believe I'm screen sharing. So we'll really hope for the best on this one. If not, oh well, you're just going to see my face, or I'll just cut the rest of this and say like, thanks so much, have a good day. So what we went ahead and added into this one is we started adding personal services. So people were starting to look at We the Collective as an option for some personal training. We do want to go ahead and offer more of that. I had a conversation again about having Pilates and yoga be a little bit more private. So now those things are on the docket as well. So these actually need to get updated already to include those extra features. So super excited to be able to do this either virtually or to be able to help out the local community. So excited about all of that. Let's go back into our regular page. And as again, to give without any expectation of stuff coming back. If you scroll down a little bit, all of the stuff from Grundis Yoga Lift is starting to get brought over to the new website. So all of the workouts will be brought over. So all of these super fun Marvel and DC workouts, because I'm a big comic book nerd. So I'm starting to populate those back into this setup. So again, to be able to just give people options to go ahead and work. Since I also talked about the article, which is one of the main focuses, every one of the articles is now been moved over to the new site. So everything is here. Hopefully the screen didn't shut out because I'm getting some issues with the screens. So yeah, I just had to refresh really quick. So all of the articles are now listed up on the website as well. And if you were looking for other options in terms of like book recommendations, all of that from Grundis Yoga Lift has been brought over. So some of the other books, it's not every single one has got their images up yet. That's something I do need to work on, but the hard stuff is done. So I'll have to go back through and add photos when there's time, which will hopefully be really soon. And then we have the cookbook, which has, again, half the photos that are ready to go. I'm hoping to be able to develop this into a full-on cookbook if this becomes another option. So we'll go ahead and we'll click into breakfasts, and then we'll just go ahead and say, like this last week, I made Elvis waffles. So again, free recipes to be able to give away stuff as best as we can, to go ahead and just help as much as we can. So that's just some of the quick updates that we've added to the website. Again, to give just regardless, just to let people have more resources, more information to the best of our ability. We're here to go ahead and help out the entire community to the best that we can. I know that I get to do this because I'm the owner. I'm the one that's constantly running and trying to get the business going. The instructor should be in there having a really fun time in class, connecting, making bonds with the people there, understanding their goals. But now that we're able to do even more, we want to go ahead and offer even more to the community. So again, thanks so much for taking the time. And on that note, good luck.